Let's become relaxed, noticing our breathing. As you breathe in and out, be conscious of that breath, the minute changes in your body, the way your shoulders lift and fall a tiny amount, your chest expands and contracts, all to allow that breath to move in, circle around and out again. Go in and out with that breath now. Go in, feel it circle and leave once more. As if each breath moving through you suggests a great slow wheel is turning, half in you, half beyond in the universe. Let each turn of that wheel, each breath in, relax you. You feel larger, more spacious and calm. As you breathe in and out, feel that your body is a series of connected caverns, all quiet and waiting for that slow breath to drift through it, like a feather or a speck of dust. As you inhale and exhale, you become lighter. Take a scan of your body, relaxing it and softening it as if it's receiving a massage, left warm and supple. Now we are walking through a forest on a winter's day. You're wrapped up against the cold. No other people are here. It was snowing last night, and under your boots there's a frosty layer that's formed, a thin shell that cracks each time you step down. Everything seems quiet around you, muffled. The bare forest trunks are black and white, silhouettes against a pale sky. Before them your breath moves out in a cloud, dissipating. For a few moments, let this build around you. Hear your feet crunching in that snow, Feel with your skin the coldness of the air. Walk a little way in this forest, observing what's around you. All trees have different characters and are alive, but their time span is different, slower to ours. Walking in the forest, it's like you walk through a crowd of beings of characters, of sleep until spring. The winter's chill drops all plants into a state of pause, of near death, and just like the animals hibernating, the insects that died in the cold, much here is on hold and waiting. The trees you walk through are asleep. It seems you are the only being fully awake, and you wonder what these trees dream of in their long rest. Leafless branches all around you, as if the trees were in the act of spelling something out but froze during the sentence. Around you are many young beech trunks pushing upwards, their young bodies wiry and frail, like a bunch of ideas sent out, growing too closely for all of them to mature. Do you remember the last time you were in this state? Putting out idea after idea. Think of when you last had a lot of things in motion, like plates spinning on poles, things that needed regular attention and maintenance. Did that state please you or bother you? How was it having so much on the go? Perhaps now you're finding you have to twist and turn to move between these young beech trunks, like having one task after another waiting to be done. For the next few moments, find the pleasure of moving through these young trunks, of appreciating how they bend around you, the snow dropping to the ground, the complex pathways they create. Replace the idea of them not all being able to mature with the exuberance of having so many young ideas present. In this forest are many other greater beeches that have grown here for decades. They rise above you, towering, sturdy with silver bark, muscular. They push up and fill the lower sky. As you crunch your way forwards in the snow, ahead is a great beech that has split in a recent storm. It is cleaved so that its trunk split vertically from the top down. Half has remained upright, pushing into the sky, but the other half crashed horizontally over, and that break above your head level forms a kind of doorway of wood that you can pass under. Step through and notice how, from the exposed inner trunk, there are fibers not meant to be seen. splinters of trunk lying about. Lean down and choose one from the ground. Pick it up, a yellow piece of tree flesh. Then carry on walking, feeling that wood in your fingers. Bring it to your nose. Does it have a scent? We've approached a huge grandmother beech. She must be a couple of centuries old. You can sense under your feet where her roots are thick and broad, strong enough to split stone over time. Her branches overhead don't simply push out, they bend upwards to rise as trunks of their own, trees in themselves. It's said that a wish or a prayer uttered at the roots of a beech are carried up to the heavens. So let's walk a moment amongst these thick roots, under the branches, so you can call to mind a wish you'd like to put out into the universe. Do that here. Call it close and send it out. You're still pacing around this great grandmother beech in a circle around her trunk, but something's changed. There's no crunch from your feet, any feeling of hardness against your soles. Your feet are finding places in the air to stand upon with each step. There are a couple of inches between your foot and the snowy ground when you look down. Your shadow falls into the gap. Somehow, you're able to walk upwards. Now you're a couple of feet above the ground. You're walking in a wide spiral, up an unseen incline of air around the tree. You're getting views of the ground that could never otherwise be enjoyed. Your feet are solid on this air, like you're rediscovering something mastered long ago in dreams. Move your spiral inwards, head in towards the trunk of the tree. That enormous trunk is like a wall to one side of you. You notice the lichens on its bark, the green moss. You feel tickles at the back of your neck. Now, there are leaves on its branches above, reaching you. And the forest floor, some way below you, is free of snow. It is green and brown with life. The air has warmed around you. You can hear birdsong, bees making a background hum. This world is changed to one of summer, and also, as we'll find, to many centuries back earlier in time. This great beech tree you're circling is an earlier one upon the same spot as the grandmother tree. It was shaped when it was young so that its branches would push outwards and upwards to support a room, a dwelling whose floor is made of crisscrossed branches and living greenery. You're still walking the perimeter in the air, and the leaves hide from you what's in this room, held between the thick branches. But finally, the curiosity is too much. You swing your spiral tightly in, right up to those leaves, find a hand and a foothold, and step through them to find out what's inside. As the leaves brush against your face, your arms, and you squeeze through, you'll find this room shaped out of a tree. It's rather like a hand, its palm flat, and the fingers pushing upwards, surrounding that flat floor. Overhead, you sense movement in the branches, birds, squirrels, above that leafy ceiling. You stand on a mesh of woven cuttings, expertly arranged, strong under your feet. You can smell sap, and you can also smell smoke nearby with a spiciness to it. It's from behind the hangings that are strung before you left to right, from limb to limb in the ceiling. Woven panels hang from overhead down to the floor, woven from grass with the seed heads still intact. Old dry flowers are woven in as well. These hangings form a wide circle, eating up the space of this tree room, and they leave at the periphery just enough space for an outsider like you to edge around. You can't see anyone else here, but you can hear stirrings nearby, and they sound human. The rustle of cloves, a slight exhalation of air. Edge around these hangings. Feel the floor creaking and bending slightly under your weight. Clutch the branches, working your way round. Looking down, you notice you're in clothes from an earlier time. They feel a little rough and heavy in places where modern clothes aren't. And yet they're also familiar, like something you've worn often. Clinging on to the branches, walking on this slightly bouncy floor, you seem to have done a full circle now without finding a way through the hangings. Your feet knock against something, a wooden bowl. It's stained a deep green, and its emptiness seems to be a message. Something is meant to go into it. Explore your pockets and clothing. Somewhere on you, a small artifact will be tucked away. Some small object that's going to say more about who you are in this time than any words possibly could. When your fingers close around it, leave it down there in the bowl as an offering. Parting forms in the rough hanging. They shift in the breeze to reveal a gap a foot wide, and this seems to be, as you step through, the start of a spiral inwards, a spiral between walls of hangings. And as you commence following over the woven floor, those rough sheets of grass and flowers to either side of you call to mind that wish we sent out some time ago, that wish you sent to the universe from the forest floor. You move forwards along this narrow passageway. It curves round, enclosing you, spiraling in. The weavings to either side still smell of the meadow. Underfoot is the mesh floor. Above you, the leaves and the branches, the hints of hidden living things scampering and hopping. As you walk, you're surprised how large this spiral seems to be. The room formed by the tree surely cannot be this enormous. It's very disorientating. You take step after step, feeling the floor shift with your weight, curious about what will be at this spiral's center. The pathway winds on. You're hearing human sounds very close, cloth rustling from further inside these hangings. It must be the center of this spiral. The spiral moves inwards, onwards, becoming tighter. And abruptly, one hanging wall ends. You step into the center. There's a circular area between the hangings, in which 3 women sit at floor level on cloth squares. Squares hand-dyed, one is red, one blue, one green, and completing the compass points is a 4th, an empty square of yellow linen. They don't speak, but they notice you. It's clear you are to sit in this 4th space. Settle down in a cross-legged position on that yellow cloth. They still do not speak. Perhaps no speech is possible. You're not sure you would know the language or dialect of this earlier time. But in their faces, they are accepting. And from the way they allow you to complete the square, you sense you've behaved correctly so far. Centrally between the 4 of you is a clay pot filled with wax, and in that wax are 4 unlit wicks. Between those wicks is that artifact, that object you found on yourself and left in the green bowl outside. The woman to your left is holding a reed coated in wax, and the woman opposite you holds a clay pot of burning herbs and spices. That was the spice in the smoke you smelled. Their faces have long lives written into them. You feel your left wrist enclosed by the woman to your left. She holds your wrist and with her other hand dips the reed into the smoking pot of herbs, moving a flame to just above one of the wicks in the candle. She closes her eyes, they all do, for a few moments, her head cocked as if reading you through your wrist. Then she releases that hand, frees your wrist, and lets the flame take on that first wick, burning in the candle. And then in a circle, the burning reed and the pot of fire move to the left. So now the woman opposite you reaches over to lay a hand on your knee, while her other hand holds the taper. Her eyes are brighter, and then those eyes close. All of their eyes close. She seems to listen to the touch of you, before opening her eyes matter-of-factly, breaking contact, and applying the taper to the second wick. Now 2 wicks are alight, and once more the reed and the fire pot move round the square. Now you are holding the pot of flaming herbs, and the woman to your right holds the taper. She lays her hand on your shoulder. Again their eyes close, and she inhales, the one holding you, as if breathing in knowledge from you. Then she breaks contact, leans forwards and sets the third wick alight. You begin to pass the fire pot to the woman who's on your left, but with a wave of their fingers, they all indicate you're to keep it. And you're past that burning reed taper. They wait for you to act. This here is clearly a place of magic. So let's go back to your wish, the one you made down at the roots of the grandmother tree. Whatever your wish was, cast out all your senses now to bring it to life in front of you. Don't let it remain a simple sentence of words. Invest it with a scene, with life force, an episode where you are at its center, filled with emotional charge. Bring close who else will be involved in that wish. Douse yourself in the sound, the look and the smell of that wish coming into your life. Drawn to you, fueled by your excitement, brought close by the waves of happiness you feel inside at that wish manifesting in the future. In this circle here, imagine your eyes have closed too, along with the 3 women's. Bring your wish to life. mind's eye, your eyes have opened again. You're carrying that burning reed in your hand to the last of the 4 wicks. The flame jumps onto the wick. Now all 4 are blazing, and the mood lightens here. The women's faces are pleased, and though they don't address you directly, you feel you're accepted. You have done the work required. They take the pot and the reed from you, and they direct your attention to those 4 burning wicks. A moment ago, between the wicks, was that trinket you found in your clothing. But now, between those wicks at the candle's center, there'll be some item from modern times, from your time, that gives you direction. It'll be a symbol of how to go forwards towards your goal. And only you can know what that is. Discover now what's waiting in the flames for you. Very gradually, we notice that the scene has changed. That instead of sitting, you're standing up. We're no longer between those hangings, in that curious tree shaped like a room. You're standing back on the forest floor in the winter, in the crunchy snow, and you're facing the trunk of that great old grandmother beech who rises up, leafless and wintry, into white sky. You stand here wrapped up against cold in modern clothes, and before you, this tree, although wonderful and large, is normal again. Behind you, if you turn, you'll find your own footprints leading back through the snow the way you came, back towards that doorway formed by the split beech that you walked under. Through those young twisting trunks who taught you to enjoy the moment. And further on, after that, is the world you live in. That is where we will go back towards now. Say farewell to the solid air that you walked upon, that incline upwards, and to that tree from a summer centuries ago, shaped by a skill we hardly know today. Say farewell to the 3 women in that hidden room of its hangings. We have some magic inside us to return to our daily life with. So feel yourself walking forwards through the snow. Around you, you notice a cool winter breeze around your shoulders, and you yourself feel so light. You're like a feather or an autumn leaf with hardly any weight, and that breeze can easily pick you up, turn you on your back, and begin to carry you above the land, above the forest. Feel the white and black landscape moving to the back of your mind, the young and the old trees moving further and further away. We move back to where you've left your body, sitting or lying down, and you go through the roof or the ceiling to find your body and position yourself just slightly above it. We'll now breathe our traveling body back into the physical. So breathe in a little more deeply in your physical self and come in with that breath. Go down all the way to your feet, to your toes, your heels, and leave yourself down there. Leave your essence in your body. Breathe in again and go all the way down to where your ankles, your calves and your knees are, and leave yourself there, sensing that's returning to the right weight. Breathe in once more and go down to fill the thighs, the hips and the tummy area. Begin to feel down there that everything's returned, you're the right organic weight. Breathing in again, let's fill from the tummy up through the chest, all the way up to the shoulders, the whole torso. Breathe in again and go down the arms right down to the fingertips, palms and the wrists. And now we'll breathe upwards, go up through the neck into the head and leave yourself under the curve of the skull, behind your eyes. Bring in that little point of you that thinks and let it sit again in your forehead. Try wiggling your fingers and your toes. And when you feel you have fully returned, let's open up our eyes.